Hi there. Welcome to ReadySite's first podcast. ReadySite is a joint venture between myself, Ed, and I'm from my business is Business Life Support, and Paul, who joins me, is my partner in crime from Gold Coast Business Websites. We join forces to provide small businesses and entrepreneurs and those starting up in business as well that easy way to have a website built for them that was, simple and just cost effective way. There's so much noise and so much things about AI out there. And so we wanted to, put this podcast together as well to educate you on what you need in a website, the important areas of a website, and then also around business too. And we really want to support small businesses and businesses starting up as well. So these podcast series will just be some of our tips that we'll be running through, a bit about us as well, and how we can help you and support you in your business journey and your growth. So if we kick it off, Paul, for anyone that hasn't heard of ReadySite, what is it and who's it for?
Yeah, well, you pretty much answered that in your brilliant introduction there. Thanks, Ed. Um, yeah, we're just it's two businesses joining forces together to bring my many skills in website development and Ed's many years of experience in business and helping businesses thrive and get better through better processes and we're just sort of bringing our two combined forces together to help business owners like you to succeed online. To have a better website that converts and actually works for you. And we do that by creating simple websites that are effective, fast loading, they tick all the boxes in what a modern website should do, mobile responsive, fast loading speeds, everything that sort of beats, the core web vitals, all the important check boxes that, you have to tick in a website, all done for you. So you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Because, I mean, we've got this whole AI thing that's happening right now. And AI has its place for sure. But it also creates a lot of noise. So and small business owners, like the people that we target generally don't have any time to sort of, know anything about all of that. It's people who are, hands-on in their business and busy every day. They just don't have the time or the wherewithal, even kind of even don't really like they care, but they just don't have the skill set to make their website shine online. So anyway, in short, I guess that's what Ready Sites is about. It's just making websites simple and easy for business owners. So
I think Paul, yeah, 100%. And we also had that working title, remember, and we were saying how could that be a brand name as well of more than just a website.
yeah,
So it is that
that was your idea.
support from Paul's he's the digital guru, he's the website guru. But then from my side and why we make such a great team, it's that yeah, it's more than just a website. So we want to look and help your business and there's people in business out there who go, yes, you need this whiz bang website with e-commerce, all this sort of stuff. And sometimes you just need to pare it back and go, well, actually, you don't need that. Your
Mm.
business right now doesn't need all the bells and whistles. It just needs to be targeted and focused and speaks to your customers. So rather than some just building a site and it looks pretty, we sort of take that deeper, look into your business and want to help you and want to be that support with you. And that's why I started Business Life Support in a way from the start, that was to be that helping hand for businesses. Because I know with, Paul's business, my business, we've all been there. We've all had that idea and want to start from the ground level and had different challenges and hurdles we've had to face on the way. So by having two people in your corner as well, not only just someone to build your website, is that little bit extra that, it's that differential that we have as well as ReadySite.
Yeah, that's a really cool overview as well, Ed. And I just wanted to, yeah, I really like how you said having the two people in the in the business owner's corner. Because I think, yeah, it's sort of as I said before, it's like it's really it's a really confusing marketplace right now. Like it is like if I was in business, and just starting out, or have been in business for a while, and I'm just starting to really focus in on digital marketing, online exposure, all that sort of stuff. Man, like, just you just start Googling something and you're bombarded with all this stuff. Like, and you're just like, what do I do? Like, what's the best way here? So that's why, Ed and I have sort of joined forces so that we can make that process so much easier
Mm.
for business owners where they can just it's almost like handing that over. It's like having a team member, but not having a team member. Like we are your team member, but it's by proxy. Like you know,
Mm.
um,
And it's also removing that
so
fluff, or you hear it, the marketing fluff that I was always guilty of talking to execs about, but in businesses I was at, that we don't want to use the buzzwords and jargon, and you'll hear it out in market at the moment. You've got to do this and this. It's sort of, no, we focus on you, the business owner, and what you need, and
mm,
what's going to help your business. And we'll tell you the best thing, but ultimately it's your decision. We're there to guide you as well. And it's not saying you need X, Y, and Z. It's sort of, this is what you can have. Give you the the bare basics of what you should have and what you need. But it's really working with you, and being that partner, and that external resource that you don't need an in-house to do as well.
yeah, 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 it's perfect. So Ed, one thing that I hear a bit in the grapevine of things is what why does a business need a website these days? I mean, we got all these social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn profile, all that stuff. Like, why have a website these days? I mean, when we can just set up a Facebook page, for example, and then just
Yeah,
drive through
100%.
that. So why would we bother having a website?
I think the key thing is you don't own the social media platform.
Mm,
It's what's called rented space or rented land. Like, you don't own that audience. The algorithm one day could be in your favor, and you'll hear it. You might see posts that algorithms change, or you've got to focus on this, or whereas your website is that's your home base. That's the if you're a digital business that doesn't have a shop front, it's also that is your technical shop front.
mm,
But it's also that thing that everything points back to your website. All your social channels can lead back to it. But then also anyone that comes to your site too, and you might hear words like cookies or things, you'll be able to target them. You'll be able to know those people and be able to really nut down your marketing to them, if it's through your actual homepage or it's through your website. So I think that's sort of an important thing. Um, and I think the support we provide uh, with your website too is, and around hosting, is to ensure that it doesn't go down. Look, you see, makes first headline news that Instagram's down today or Facebook's down or
mm.
those sort of things. So if you're only relying on these external platforms that don't care about a small business based out of Australia, um, that's a risk that you'll have. And then also when you're looking at if someone, now will type in or will speak to, whether it's Siri or Gemini or through the Alexa, they'll want to search for your business name. By having your website or by having a website as well, it just helps that and make sure that you're front and center, too. So if it's hidden on Facebook or hidden on Instagram, it's sort of a risk that you play. So it's sort of best to have that website that everything is it's your home base and everything comes back to that.
Yeah, really valuable points there. It really just comes back to it kind of reminds me of when my like a personal story here. But when my Facebook page or my Facebook profile was, according to Facebook, it was hacked by an unknown user. So I was, so 10 year, like, or 10 more than 10 years, I think I had my personal profile. and it was hacked, and then I completely lost access to my Facebook profile. Um, and and I also had like my business page and so like other pages and all this sort of stuff linked to that profile.
Mm.
So I lost access to a whole bunch of stuff which I had built up over the years. And I was like, well, you know, and then I tried to reach out to the Facebook support and everything, and there's nobody there that you can speak to.
Mm.
You just chat, you're talking to a chat bot, and then it just sends you in this loop, and then and then I reached out to a friend of mine who has connections to Facebook, and even she said that there's nothing I can do to get it back. So
And that's the thing. If
so
something happens
it's
to,
a real risk. Like, and
yeah,
I'm not sort of saying that out of a fear point. In fact, as a tip, I really highly suggest that you have another user account. You set up another Facebook account, and then you connect that to all your profiles as well, so that if your main profile or if your main account gets shut down, at least you have a secondary account that you can get access to, Facebook pages and all that stuff. Because if you lose everything, like I did, you've lost all that stuff. Like it's gone. Like literally, you can't access all the pages that all the community pages that you've had access to previously, all gone, everything. Like it just goes. And that's the point that Ed and I are
mm,
making, is that you don't own those platforms. Like you don't have any ownership over those platforms. And it really comes back to, you don't even own the data on those platforms. You think you might have all these people that like you and follow you and all this stuff, but you don't own that data. And
mm,
unless you have a website that you can feed those social media profiles and getting that data off social media onto your website. That's the important thing. It's just getting ownership to that data. And then of course to avoid any sort of downtime or loss that Ed mentioned.
yeah. And then speaking about risk too, and you mentioned about your account, there's, you look at on some of the programs like Current Affair, or you hear it on the radio stations that, someone puts a photo up and one of the algorithms, Facebook will say that it's a offensive image and
Yeah.
someone's reported that and can actually shut down your account. And I
Yeah, yeah.
think then that flows back into what you were saying, Paul, about there's no one to contact. Like there's a Facebook office in Australia, but they're not there as the technical support. It's their sales and marketing team, and
Yeah.
are driving advertising revenue. They're not that
Yes.
tech side as well. So if you had a website and something happened, well, you've got myself, you've got Paul, we've got, a mobile number is on our website. Like, go call straight away. Someone could call it right now while I'm talking here. So there is someone
Would you
there.
answer?
Yeah, exactly. Just going, hey, by the way, you're on air.
Oh, we got a call
Um,
now.
but it's that sort of thing. There is that tangible. You've got someone there that you can pick up. You've seen who we are. That it's that's who you've got at the end of the line as well. You're not relying on a business based overseas that doesn't care about you because you're small fry.
Hmm.
Whereas every business we want to work for and work with are ones that we want to care about and we're not just there. We want to support you. We want this. We're a relationship driven people, not transactional, where some of these big, tech companies are.
Yeah, really good point. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was really quite surprised that Facebook is what, $1 billion business, and it doesn't have a simple human contact, like
Mm.
just somebody that you can actually talk to and actually say, hey, like, I've got this problem. It doesn't exist. It's really bizarre. It's really bizarre. I mean, it really kind of opened my eyes to the whole thing of like, well, if I if I knew that, like, well, I mean, I should have known that anyway, but you never really sort of think anything's going to happen, right? Until it does, and then you actually need the support that you can get, and then you find out that there is no support. And I'm thinking like, well, how does imagine like going to a plumber and and ask him to come around and do the piping and stuff and fix
Yeah.
stuff, and then they come around and they do it, and then when you say something breaks, a month later, and you try to contact them again for support, and they're like, "We don't have a support line. There's
Mm.
nobody you can talk to here." I mean, you wouldn't do business with them at all,
No.
like from that point. You wouldn't, you just wouldn't. And I'm just thinking, like, so many people do business, and they trust these big social media giants to, um, and I kind of think, there's this saying in the web spaces that, because a lot of social media is for free, right? So you're not having to pay for anything unless you're paying for advertising. But generally, for the most part, you can sign up for a free account. Um, so there's a saying in the industry, it's like, yeah, if something is for free, then you are the product.
Yeah.
You know. So it does, so they don't care. They don't
Yeah.
care really about you're just a number to them. So anyway, the point that
Whereas,
we're trying to
but
make
then
here,
on that as well, we do have a free health score on our website. That's not just a you're not just a number to us. That's to because we want
shameless
to help
plug,
people.
shameless
That's
plug there. Nice.
just want to flag that, and there's a discovery call, that sort of thing. For us is we want to help people. We got into our both our businesses to help. Like, that's we have this altruistic mindset that, we're not trying to be $1 billion business because then that's going to leave people on the floor. We want to see businesses grow. And I remember the first iteration of my company was it's my business to grow yours. So I had that just written on top of the website as well. And it's that sort of thing where we want to do. And to put it back to that trust thing, Paul, I think to let people that are listening know, um, you know, I think this is the fourth company or third company I've been in that I've used the services of Paul. So before we even
Yeah.
talked about starting a business, so you can sort of see that, I've trusted Paul with my own business. I've trusted Paul with other companies I was working at, business, and loved the the support, the advice, the work we had from a website perspective. And then when we started talking more about potentially having a partnership, it was a no-brainer because someone that is on exactly the same page with me on how to work ethic, but also, he was there to support me and gave me advice about bits of our business and how I could be doing things better and vice versa. And that's how it happened organically that we set this up too. So I think, when you're looking at that trust factor, um, we ultimately trust each other to form this partnership. And we wouldn't do it for, because we thought we could actually help businesses in a better way than what we're currently doing individually in our own organizations. So yeah, just want to throw that one in to let people know.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Yeah, technically, well, you're my client. So you still are in a way
Yeah.
for my business. So yeah.
And I think that goes also,
But yeah,
Paul, like, and you can talk more about it, but um, the platforms we use for hosting and things like that too, that we sort of would talk to or would need to, deal in the back end when people sign up to um, the hosting packages when they get a website with us too, that, you know, there's all that support that we need to get the job done in case something happens or goes down. So, and they're also site businesses that you trust too. So it's, using having access to our little black book of, the key people to deal with. So you as the business owner doesn't need to worry about it.
yeah, yeah. We're just two friendly guys in your team to just help you out with the online world, and also with your business as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. So that's I guess that kind of leads us into like
What does a website need to do? You know? So
well, yeah. I mean, it's exactly right. I mean, I have a lot of clients that sort of come to me and that sort of say, like, oh, I heard that I need this CRM and I need this whiz bang, tool and all this sort of stuff, for my website. And what I find is that yes, they set all this stuff up, and then suddenly they're like, they end up just like canceling the subscriptions and stuff over time because they're like, this is just overkill. So they've wasted money on that stuff when they didn't actually really even they didn't need it from the beginning. So
And
um,
it's also that like the waste thing. Yes, they waste the money. They also waste a lot of time.
yes,
Like if you're a small business owner and setting that up and you think, oh, I need a bit of this, bit of this, bit of this. Well, out of your day and you break up your day into sections, hey, you've got to focus on this, focus. You're actually neglecting probably the most important bit that could be trying to find new customers rather than what do you do once you've got 1,000 customers that you can, have those systems in place.
exactly right. I mean, it's because there's a lot of gurus out like there's a lot of business gurus out there that you go to seminars and all this stuff or watching webinars and they're like, oh yeah, if you're in business, you need these tools and you need to spend hundreds of dollars per month, on these things and the reason why they're pitching that stuff is because they're affiliated, so they're going to get a kickback. But really, at the end of the day, and so a business owner comes out going like, oh yeah, I need to sign up for this and that, and then all these tools and they cost heaps of money and stuff. And I'm not saying those tools don't have their place. For sure
Mm.
they do. Like they do have their place. But a lot of business owners that I've found that I've worked with, they generally, they sign up for all these things and then they realize, hang on a second, don't even need this stuff. So what Ed and I do is we help you to decide what tools you need now. And then obviously as you grow, you'll find that you'll probably need those tools, right? And then
So then what are
and
the
so then we'll
like
we'll say, yeah, then that's you're in a sort of position now to sort of to move in and transition into those other tools. Whereas we sort of set you up on, I guess, basic or simple tools to start with. And then as you grow, we just help you migrate to those bigger tools. And then you'll have the money to fund those and so you're just not wasting all that time and money. So we just help you sort of navigate through what you should use and what you shouldn't, where you are in your business.
and well that sort of goes to your and the platforms you set them up on as well, doesn't it? That it sort of it allows for that expansion. It's sort of sometimes those DIY builders can be great, but they sort of box you in just a, you're only in this little thing,
Yeah,
and then to add what you need later on is a whole other kerfuffle and just costs probably 10 times more than that original investment as well.
correct. Yes. And that's, yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly right. So we just help you make better decisions, more timely decisions, and cost-effective decisions at the beginning. And even like we can even sort of look at where you are now, and like Ed can sort of sit down with you and look at your current structure and what you've currently got, and then you can sort of go, well, I've got all this a CRM over here, and I've got all this stuff over there, like, and then maybe we can then consolidate that into, say, one tool rather than having multiple tools, or basically just saying, asking the question, do we actually need this tool? Do we need this right now? And then you can just sort of go, oh, no. And then Ed can sort of go, all right, we'll just cut that off. And then that will give you, extra cash to sort of put towards other things. And um, so yeah, it's more than just a website. It's
And I think there's yeah, 100%. So I couldn't have said it better myself. And it's that thing that I remember the company I started about 14 years ago. I went in straight away thinking I was this big business and not allowing it to grow. And I always, talk to clients now about that. And it's that, that idea that complexity is the enemy. And
Yeah.
If you make it too complex too soon, you're going to get bogged down. You're going to become more inefficient. It's going to cost more, but not only financially, but also time as well. That adds to more pressure. You'll feel more stressed. You'll make sometimes the wrong decisions. So it's funny how just something so small, which could just be, a website, can actually snowball into bigger problems later on as well.
True that. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for local businesses, and and some small business, what do you think, in your view, what are the things they actually need? What's the bottom line must have sort of.
On their website.
Yeah.
Yeah, so well, it just needs to be simple. It just needs to say who I am and what do I do and give me a call. Like that's really it. And then obviously the job of the website is to be a 24/7 salesperson for your business, right? So it has to have the messaging. So just think that you're hiring a salesperson and then you're telling that salesperson everything that you do in your business, and then you're sending that salesperson out looking for your target market, to sell to, and then
And that's perfect.
they're
I've
going to
had,
bring leads and sales to your business. So your website has to be that salesperson. Like, so it has to have, the right language, messaging, has to have the right calls to action, has to have testimonials, reviews and stuff like that. Because social proof is really important. Has to tick all the boxes in the trust factors that people are ticking off in their brains as they're looking at, what's in it for me? Why should I, hand over my dollars to this business? And so that the website has to do that, has to perform like a actual salesperson.
and it's so true that 24/7, like they talk about in Sydney, they're trying to talk about the 24/7 nightlife and that sort of thing, but you can't get a drink after 9 o'clock anywhere. But like even just in the past week, I've had a sale come through at 1:30 a.m. and had an inquiry at 12:40. I was fast asleep. And then the best thing is you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, I just had business come in overnight. Where'd that come from? Or an inquiry and how to call that day with them. And it is that, yeah, it's not that 9 to 5 shop front. It allows you to have that exposure no matter what time someone's doom scrolling and thinks I need this for my whatever. Cool. I found your business and I can inquire or purchase it then as well. So I think that's a massive one about the 24/7 salesperson.
Yeah, I mean that's essentially what it is. And the problem I see, and I'm sure you've seen that, is that a lot of businesses just don't perceive their websites as such. Like they'll like it's just another tick in the box. It's like, yeah, got a website, tick, done. And then they think, oh yeah, we're good to go. But no, like it's they've gone to Fiverr, or they've gone and got some kid in who lives in their parents' basement and or in their bedroom or whatever to mock up a website, and anybody can build a website these days. But is it actually a working website? Does it actually do the job that the website's supposed to do? And
And then they
that's
still have an
that's
email address that says, you know, this is my business at Yahoo or at BigPond.com or at Hotmail,
exactly, yeah.
and it's sort of
Yeah,
someone's like, oh, is this actually legit as well?
that's true. Yeah, yeah. Whenever I see a business email, uh, yeah, let's just say, would you, let's just have a quiz here, just
Yeah.
just for those that are watching. Like, okay, so if we had an email address like readysites@gmail.com, right? We had that on our website. Or if we had hello@readysite.com.au, which one do you perceive to be a little bit more trustworthy? You know, just a little bit. That's a quiz for you guys at where whoever's watching this. Just answer that question in your own mind. And it is a big difference. It's actually a pretty big difference. But
And I
yeah,
think for that, like everyone and small businesses and businesses need to think of that you want to reduce the amount of time someone can say no.
Yes.
for about your business or about your product. If you can, if you're not open when I want to come and visit, if you, no, there's no phone number to contact, there's no email address to go, there's no way to get in touch. But then that other subconscious, if you have one that doesn't look professional, or there's no reviews, or these are little things that a consumer might go, or a potential client, oh no, I might go with someone else. So it's trying to, it might seem like a small thing, but it's just that little, how can I stop someone saying no?
Yeah.
And, in the current environment, you hear every day on the news about a cost of living crisis and whatever's happening in Iran and all that sort of stuff. Every client or potential client and every potential customer is gold. So if you can reduce as many times, and you might only lose one, but that one person could be your monthly target in a way, like depending on the type of business you've got. So
Yeah.
yeah, just any little things like that, you can reduce the no is or I'll choose someone else is, yeah, it's a game changer.
Yeah. It's that classic whiffing, what's in it for me sort of thing. When they come in to your website and they've got those mental check boxes. I know I do. Like when I go to a website for a service that I haven't used before, and I'll be looking for things like, yeah, do they have, a phone number that I can just pick up and call? Do they have social review? Do they have reviews and stuff so I can look at how other people have interacted, how they found the business by interacting with them in the past? Do they have very clear messaging on the website about what they do, what they offer, what services they offer? Does the language on the website, speak to me as
Hmm.
to point out the problem and to say, yeah, this is your problem, and then
And we're there to help. We're
we're
there to,
to solve that problem because
hmm.
that's essentially it. People are they're just, a website essentially it's just a problem solver. It's just because people are coming to your service to solve their problem,
Hmm.
Like, if you're a cafe owner, then somebody is thirsty and hungry. So
Yeah.
they, or so it's kind of or it's not just that, it's the intrinsic, it's the stuff that doesn't have
Yeah.
any real sort of tangibility to it. It's intrinsic stuff. So it's kind of like, if somebody's coming to a cafe, yes, they're probably looking for a coffee or a drink or and a meal, but it's also that feeling that they're after is like, oh, is this, does the aesthetics of this cafe, is it welcoming? Is it, does it feel like home? Does it, is it somewhere I want to meet up with my friends? Do we feel, is the support
Is there
staff?
somewhere to sit? I was even thinking it could be I've done it overseas, looking at somewhere going, been walking all day. I'm like, just want a cafe I can sit down. Yeah, the coffee, that's just an afterthought because I'll purchase it. But then I go to I'll try and Google them. They're not there. Try and look on. There's no images of what the actual venue looks like
Yeah,
you turn up and it's a hole in the wall and there's nowhere to sit. And I'm like, well,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
annoying. Like little things like that too.
Yeah, yeah, they don't have like a Google business profile or something that you can look up and find out what their opening times are and all that stuff. Or they might have one, but it's like really basic and they don't have all
Mm,
the info. Um, I mean, you really just have to think about, okay, what is it that my target audience wants from
mm.
my business, and what information are they seeking? Like if it's a cafe, yeah, and they go to your website, then they're going to want to see a menu, like so you just have a menu, what you serve and stuff. So particularly if it's a restaurant, you want to be able to see what kind of food people are going to want to. I mean, that's just a really simple, and I've seen so many people overcomplicate that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
And it
yeah.
goes back. There was a restaurant, there was a cafe, I won't mention the name of it, but one in Paddington that closed down. They said business was tough, but two restaurants nearby were always full. And so I
Interesting.
did a deep dive into their website, and they didn't have any information about their food on the website. Now, if I'm going out and I know someone that may have a gluten intolerance or some dietary thing as well, or if I don't want to, it was an Italian place, so do they have other options other than pasta or other than certain things? I want to quickly check if you had a menu. I don't want to then have to go to Instagram, find their page, have a look at photos, can you just give me a quick little one-page menu? That's what I'm after. And I think it probably flows into um, something else. So with those cafes and restaurants that just rely on social media or like on the social handle or even a Google listing that don't have their menu, and you mentioned it before, or what their opening hours, somewhere that's listed. And I think that's why we thought about that, the one page website. And what do you think, for probably you can explain it better why we put that together, but I think it came from both of our frustrations of trying to um, get a work out what we're going to eat type of thing.
Yeah. So the idea of a one page website is that it just has everything on that page, has everything on that. So it has all the crucial information on that page. So they're not having to click out, to other pages and stuff like that on the site. So and it's a solid way to start as well. So it's budget friendly and cost effective and everything just to get. But it's a very optimized page. It's not just a one page website. It's a highly optimized, very informative, just breaks everything down so that when somebody is, coming to the site, they get everything there that help, and then obviously you want to grow that website from that. So it's a good launch pad. So it has to be, has to load fast, everything like that on mobile because everyone, a lot of people are using their phones now. So particularly for, like service-based businesses and stuff like that, or, cafes, restaurants, all that. So it needs to be really, yeah, it needs to perform well on mobile. Because people are on the go, people are out, so I want to find out where a cafe is in my local area or where they are at the moment, so they want to be able to access that on a phone really easily. Um, so yeah, it's a good starting point for a one page website. But yeah, as you grow, you kind of do want to add extra pages as well because a bigger website is better, like overall for SEO and all that sort of stuff.
And I
So
think it's also it's a really good one for tradies too, that you sort of everyone gets those magnets in the fridge, oh sorry, in the post, and then you go to it and it's
you still get magnets?
oh, I still get magnets every week. There's a little pack of magnets or something, or a flyer from a tradie. And when you investigate them a little bit more, it's from a company in Victoria or something, and they're just doing a letterbox shop and they do the thing saying, oh, we're a local business. So it lowers that trust almost instantly when you actually look them up. But it's
Interesting.
that thing of,
I would have thought that would have been a little bit more of a gimmick, or not a gimmick, but I mean, like pre-digital world, pre-internet or pre like
well, they're the dodgy ones usually, and not going out. Some good ones could be there, but the reports that you hear of the ones, oh, I found it through the magnet in the, in the mailbox, and then you look at them and they've changed their business name about 50 times, because fair trading goes after them and stuff. Um, but it's that thing of bringing back that, and I think you said it before about those trust factors and that authenticity. Now, if you're a local tradie that just has their phone number and email address on the side of their van or the ute type of thing, a little one-page
the Yahoo email
website
address.
that could just have, yeah, exactly. But just a little one-pager could have just a picture of yourself next to your van, because then, and if you're in that local area, someone quickly, who's that business? Who's the Terry's Tiles or whatever? And you look it up, and then you see, oh, there's Terry. Yeah, you bring that trust factor straight away. Like, oh, there's the van, there's the person. Oh, bump in. Do you have any free time? I saw you. I drove past your thing, or it helps those ones that are on the street, and you get that word of mouth. But it sort of just gives someone that way to quickly flick you an email saying, "Oh, hey, I saw your van." So, the one page ones that we look at could be the tagline, or the hero image, an intro, some mention about your services, a booking form or a contact section and the hours and stuff. But it's really about, and that's where, you know, from my side it comes in, is how can we build up that trust about you on a, just on a simple page, um, that someone might go, oh, that's who it is, and to generate more inquiry that aren't just going to your phone all the time. And I think,
Yeah.
especially tradies need to realize sometimes that customers, or, potential clients don't like. There are some people that don't like calling or sending a text. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
they find an email as their first approach a bit better, and might get put off that if their only way to contact you is calling. I know
Yeah. Yeah. True.
my mum hates leaving a voicemail. Like gets through a voicemail message, can't leave one, just doesn't like it. So,
Yeah.
you might be losing someone, whereas a quick little, hey, saw your van, saw your truck, would you have availability around this or to do a quote type of thing. So yeah, it's just providing that option, and we have a low cost option to do that as well.
Yeah. 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 It made me think of a few things there, but I've totally forgotten. Um, yeah. No, it was something about
The honesty is what you'll get from both of us.
yeah. 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 We're human at the end of the day, not AI.
Absolutely.
Human.
This isn't AI here.
Yeah, there's no AI here at all. It'd be perfect. Be too perfect. Uh,
Yeah.
oh, what was the thing I was going to say about Facebook? I was going to, yeah, something sort of triggered me what you were saying about trust and Facebook. Oh my God, no, I've lost it. It was right. It was, yeah, no, it's gone.
Stay tuned for our second podcast, second
Yeah,
video.
yeah, it'll
Paul
come
will talk
back.
about
It'll
trust
definitely
in
come back to me
Facebook.
when I'm
And
on the toilet or something, or like
yeah,
in the bathroom or
exactly.
something like that. Just
Check out the comments below. We'll add it in.
yeah, it was a good point too. I just can't remember. Hang on, let me just see if I can trigger it again. But no, no.
That's all right. Well, I've got a question for you.
Let's move on. Move on.
Yeah.
Yes.
If we think about some of like mistakes, that people make with websites, what do you see and what have you seen over your journey, are the biggest mistakes you see businesses and small businesses make with their website?
Well, they delay. They delay on taking action with it. So I mean, or I get yeah, delay is one thing. They think, oh, I need to have this perfect website, and it does need to be good, obviously, from the get-go. But it doesn't have to be like A1 professional, like or perfect. So I find that some people just think, oh, I'll just it has to be so perfect. It has to have all these tools. It has to have everything connected before I go live. And unfortunately, the more complexity that you bring to it, then it eventually just ends up getting, like the time to market is delayed, and then your competitors are going well ahead, and and they have websites that are still very functional, but um, they're not finished. I guess like a website is never finished. But yeah, so I find delay and consternation and just thinking I have to have everything in place and perfect beforehand. Now again, you know my job and Ed's job is to just get rid of all the fluff and just bring it back to the website. The website is well, a website is never finished, right? But we get it live. We get it live within 7 to 10 days. It's very quick, it's very fast, but it is effective from day one. And it doesn't have all that fluff that you think you need. And then, of course, over time, it needs to iterate, it needs to change, like because everything changes. The website never stays the same.
And that's the thing, it's not a one
So
and done. That's the biggest advice too. Like it's sort of,
yeah,
some people just go, done my website, beautiful, and treat it
yeah,
like a
tick,
painting that's
tick.
hanging
Move
up
on.
in a museum type of thing. It's just, no, it needs to evolve as well.
Yeah, it definitely does. It's a living entity. It's a salesperson. You got to get that into your mind. It's a salesperson, right? So and a salesperson never stays the same. You're always feeding it new information. You always change. Just pretend that the website is an actual person, a personified person, and so and so therefore you have to continuously update and make and give it new information. So through blogging or through writing articles or that sort of thing. So you're feeding it new information. So you're in touch with your market, right? You're listening to your clients every day. You're finding out what their needs are, and their needs change. And so you need to reflect that on your website, So another important thing to have on a website is an FAQ. FAQs, man, so many websites don't have FAQs, like just a simple FAQ section on their
It's
website.
almost like it's gone through like a circle. Remember, there was always, and this is showing my age, you if you watch a TV program or something, and they're like, "Oh, call this number for the fact sheet," and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like they had it back in old school, where you would get faxed a fact sheet about the program or about the Getaway used to have it. Go here to get the fact sheet about the particular holiday,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so
yeah,
and then it went to websites were really let's make them lean as anything and really fancy when you get on and it plays a video and I
yeah,
want to get in and get the information. That's what I'm getting there. I'm not don't want to watch a movie before like to walk through the front door type of thing.
yeah, yeah,
And then it comes with, I want to ask questions. Where are the questions? Like someone else might have thought that question too. Instead of going off and putting it on Reddit to see if there's a question about the problem, you
yeah.
have it on the site. Like,
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about like having the social media and stuff, and again, we just want to caveat, we're not bagging social media or anything. Those
no,
definitely have their place. They definitely, and you should have those. It's just that you need them to funnel those people in so that then you own the data, right? So that's the point. But the thing about FAQs, and FAQs just stands for frequently asked questions, is that you want to, and as Ed said before, is that you want to mentally get those people to say yes, like as quickly as possible, right? So you want to have those FAQs on every page of your website and for every service that you have. But if it's just a one page, obviously have all the FAQs and stuff on there. So yeah, and it just ticks off like, all the questions that you've been asked from your clients over the many years that you've been in business that are most common. And then of course all those people that are new to your business are gonna come in and go like, oh yeah, I have all these questions. Oh, they're all pointed off. I can see the question, I can see the answer. Gets them to say yes mentally much quicker
mm.
um, in their minds to then give you a call or whatever call to action that you have on your website. So
And it's probably something, and I don't thank you for it, was I think in my early business, or one I had was, and you told me I didn't need it, and too much argument thinking, well, I thought I did, was about like overpaying for things you don't need. And like, you know, don't need special custom code or some pages, bloated pages or animations or those other things. And I think that's sort of where,
yeah, yeah,
you're really good at just going, well, no, you don't need that. And that's sort of the essence of what Ready Site is. It's here's your basics to get an awesome site
yeah,
without all the, other stuff you don't need to drive people to your business and to, promote your business sort of. And it gets you going. And then once you're financially stable or up into that you might need those specific things, then yeah, great. But yeah, it's
yeah.
really reducing that aspect of no, this is what it is. You don't need to overpay it.
That's right. This is exactly right. Yeah. Yeah, there's the yeah, I mean I guess another um it's not really a mistake, it's more just sort of ignorance, I guess, is that clients will want certain things on their website, like a slider, for example. I come across this a lot and it's like, oh, I want to have a slider on my website, and a slider is just simply images that sort of fade over, they have it as their main hero or something. It's the first thing they can, a person sees, and then um, and, there was
Why wouldn't someone have a slider, Paul? Because while I was laughing was we've had many an argument of me always loving what a slider was, and Paul was the voice of reason for me saying you don't need the slider.
Yeah, well, I mean, you just go back to the basic statistics and
Yeah.
you look at it like, you go look at the data, which is what I do as a professional, is that, is I go look at, okay, how effective are sliders on a website? Do they actually convert? Do they actually have any meaning? I mean, some people, a client will say like, yeah, I want like 5 sliders, that go through each one of my services and stuff. And I'm like, that somebody's not going to hang around to the fifth slide or even the third slide, or for the matter, even the second slide. They're not even going to care about a slider, and the statistics show that. The data shows that. There's actually a website, and I had it linked, but it's actually a slider. Like it's a website that has a slider on it, and you slide through it, and and it and each slide is basically a reason why you shouldn't use a
Had
slider.
a
It's actually
slider.
quite
Oh,
funny. I
really?
can't remember it's like Wino slide, no,
Yeah.
Wino carousel or something like that. I can't remember the actual link. Um, but yeah, like, and the other thing about sliders is that just it chews up that first response load time. So because it's all JavaScript, so it has to load, and you can't delay it because you have to have it load because it's just going to break. So and then like I always say, like, go and look at all the sort of the top websites in the industry.
And it
They
flies.
won't have sliders. They just won't. Um,
And I think that's where you sold me
but that's
on the
just
very first,
one
my
thing.
first website was, and I think that's where you sold me was it. This is what the data says, and this is and
It's just-
putting numbers, and it's not um, you know, an airy fairy explanation as to why it's not. It was here's clear data, boom, 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 and it's what research says, and I'm like, okay, wow, I was wrong. Cool. That's why I trust you. So it's that thing too.
yeah, it
We're
was
not
not
just
that you were
gonna.
wrong. It was not that
Yeah.
you were wrong. It was just that you
No, it's just
just
because
didn't
the
know.
data suggested something else, and it was a no, and
Yeah, yeah.
I never had a slider ever again. Um,
But
and
that also leans into like having animations and like some people are
yeah,
like, oh yeah, I want to slide down the page and have all this animated stuff flying in and
yeah.
everything. And that does look pretty, I gotta admit. Like it is, I've been to some websites that make animations look amazing and stuff. But it's quite funny because I read Reddits and I look at social media like people who put up their website. They just have this beautiful website and it's got all this animated stuff and it looks cool and you slide down, everything's like flying in and it's like, wow, this is a really cool site, right? But I noticed that a lot of the comments that people put on is like it's just overkill. Like, it's like, the animation is
Yeah.
overkill. It's like it just doesn't need to have, yeah, just have you can have animation, but it's just subtle,
Hmm.
like not every element, I've seen websites where every element slides in and like fades in and it's like just all this awesome stuff going on uh
And I think it's that thing of
and I'm like,
your
does it really
technique too
need does
is
it
not
really need
having,
that?
yeah, but like having the way you approach it too, it's sort of it's not a no, you can't have that. It's a
Yeah, yeah,
this is why that's probably not the best approach,
yeah.
and these are the reasons. And it's sort of that's like we'll never say no, client, because small business, business owners and entrepreneurs hate being told no because it bursts their
Yeah.
bubble. But I think the best way that we work with people is to really explain it, to give them the whole picture, and here's the reasons why that's probably not the best from the technical perspective, and then also from a business and a marketing perspective, and that sort of thing too. That yeah, we want to work with them on the actual business because we want it to be effective. Like that's I think the key thing for us. We don't want to do like said with the slider because it doesn't work. So we don't want
It
to
doesn't.
see someone's business not work and people turn away because they're not getting the results just because something may look sexy but doesn't actually do anything and it's not effective. So I think that's
Yeah,
why
I
we
mean,
work.
yeah, as you said, we don't say no. And if you really, 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 really want to have a slider, then we will tell you why you shouldn't.
Yeah.
and we'll show you the data that supports that. But
Mhm.
really, like, if you're so adamant that you
Yeah.
want the thing, like, we'll put it on there. But, you know, we'll just basically say, well, like, if you don't get the leads or the optimize,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, well, we don't have any more control over that, and load performance and stuff. We don't have control over making the site faster.
Yeah.
Like,
And then we'll also make you sing
um,
like my partner does, the "You were right, I was wrong" song. And so that's sort of the which I know the lyrics to quite a lot. Um, so
yeah, I
that's
mean,
the
we don't want to say
that's in the contract as well.
we don't
You
want to
know,
say we
it's just
told you so, that sort of thing, like
yeah,
those, yeah. But we will say that if we've communicated, like, which we will, to say why you shouldn't have these things, but you're so adamant, and you're like, oh no, I gotta have this thing,
mm,
then you'll see over time through the data, and that's just what it is, and so, um,
yeah,
and
no,
that
100%.
that slider will eventually come off,
All right, so let me throw this one
which we
at
will
you.
do as well. It's fine.
All
Yeah.
right, let me throw this at someone says, when someone says to you, "I'm too busy to deal with a website."
Then we're perfect for you. Ready Site's the go-to for you because that's what we do. We do that,
Yeah,
you know. We live and breathe websites. So, that's just what we do, and that's our business, I've been running my business for well, probably coming on 25 years now. So, I make, it's not just a hobby. It's my life. It's my lifestyle. It's my living. I bring home the bacon with that. So, but
you're
yeah,
building websites when people used to go www dot
yeah,
like that.
yeah, people still do that. It's really quite funny. Yeah. Uh,
Especially, like, I've seen it in like a 15-second commercial, and they spend 3 seconds saying www
I know
dot. I'm like, that's just
they've just spent $15,000 on an ad
dollars on something that you don't need.
on a time
Um,
thing. Yeah. But
yeah,
yeah, but again, yeah. But yeah,
I
so
think and probably talking about the process of it is if you don't have time to deal with a website, we have a quick chat. Like I'll meet with you, we'll do it over the phone or via Zoom, get an understanding of your business, do the research around your industry, around the current website you've got. So this applies to people with a website, those even without a website, looking at getting a new one or getting a website as well. Understanding what you need, looking at what's out in the market, how you can be that point of difference as well. Um, and then looking at what improvements you could make on your current site if you have a website. And just have a quick little chat to understand about you, understand your business, understand where you want to go. And then from there, we'll put together a recommendation of how we think this can work. Um, then you meet with yourself, Paul, and then you do ask more of the techie questions that, your 20 years of knowledge is more than mine. Um, and then you leave it to us. And I think there's, for those that have jumped on our website, and something we're really keen on pushing is and it's not a gimmick because we just value that we want to produce the website that is perfect for you and your business and that you're happy with it. That we put our money where our mouth is, and we've got 100%, 110% money back guarantee that if you aren't happy with the site, and it's not what you wanted, then we'll put our money where our mouth is because we feel that we want to work with you and have that relationship with you to really, get the site that you want that's most effective for you, but is something you're happy with and proud of. And as a business owner, you want to be proud of that, the business you're putting out there and how it looks and stuff.
nice to say, yeah. I couldn't agree anymore.
I concur.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, as it said, it's like we want to build a relationship. It's not just you come to us for a website and then you tick it off and then it's done and dusted and you move on. We will always, we always want to be there for you. And um, as I said, we're that team that's in your corner that has your back. You don't have time to really worry about your website. You don't. Um, you just want to, you just want to have somebody who does, and who does treats your website like it, we'll treat your website like it's our own website. So, um, and
Mm.
I, and Ed does that for his clients, and I do that for my clients. We care, I love just jumping onto like a random Zoom now and again with a client and just
Mm.
just catching up and seeing, where they're at and how they're going, and even just for a candid chat. I like to build friendships with my
Mm.
clients, rather than just they're a client and I'm a business owner, business. I got really good, strong connections with the client. We talk about kids and what they're doing on the weekend and what their life, like it's a life thing. It's not just a transaction. It's a yeah, it's a full memory experience,
Yeah,
So
100%. No, no, but it is. But it's that thing of, and it's even in other businesses, but running marketing teams where sort of you work with agencies and you had to write a brief, and it was just so they got everything you wanted just off a document. And sometimes you can't, some people aren't great at doing that and expressing exactly what they want. And it comes with those conversations and it
Mm,
comes with those. So, what other sites you like and why'd you like this? And, what's happening there? And you're too busy. So you pick up little tidbits and insights about the person as well. Like you mentioned, you're chatting to one of your clients about their kids. Um,
yeah.
when you're thinking, okay, well, is there a way to drive more inquiry digitally rather than it being a call to action being a phone? Because
Mm,
then it
mm,
takes away from their kid time. Or, there's little insights you can take about not only the business, but the owner and the person as well, I think is quite important,
really true. Yeah.
because that can also, and the way that we work, like, clients can send their copy and their text to the website, but also that's something I can help them with too. So it's
Mm,
understanding those little things and pulling, oh, okay, well, if your potential customers, other families, and you haven't mentioned that you've got a family yourself, or, you've got that like for like and understanding with the customer too.
mm,
Um, I
yeah.
think, yeah, those little insights can actually be more beneficial than if it was just a type in, this brief it off, done, and then it is that transaction. And I think that goes to, um, I know you probably get it asked more, 1,000 times more than I do, but um, using something like Wix or Squarespace or those the DIY builders. Um, why is it? What's the difference, say, than with us? And I think we've mentioned a bit before, but could someone just really do a DIY builder themselves? Like, is that, what are your
Abs
thoughts around that?
Absolutely they can, yes. Um, and I, and th those platforms like Wix and Squarespace, they have a place, I mean, that they are proliferating the marketplace, as to say. And you could, for the most part, say they're competitors. But I don't see them as competitors. I just see them as, like it's just it's a tool, right? So there's nothing wrong with the tool. It's just that there are certain limitations that you hit with those tools. Um, and again, like we use WordPress. WordPress is a content management system for those that don't know. WordPress runs, I think it's currently like over 45% of the web. Um, it's open source, so at its base, it doesn't cost anything. It's continuously being, maintained by a core group um, of people that are dedicated to supporting it. And there's like a massive worldwide community around it. I've looked at, in comparison to Wix and Squarespace, they don't have the comparable community that's behind them. Like that, and so, there's pros and cons to everything, I mean, there's pros with using the Wix site and the Squarespace site, um, and now more so now, AI vibe coded websites.
Hmm.
They all have a place, problem with AI sort of site, and that's what Wix and Squarespace are all going towards as well. And even Canva, you can build a website in Canva, and they're all AI. You can just type in a prompt and you get a website. That's all great, but really at the end of the day, the question is that does the website actually work? Is it
Mm.
working? Or is it just one of those things? And are you really building it to be a salesperson, or are you just building it to tick off in your mind that you've got a website? I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. A website is better than no website. But that's where our free discovery call, or taking our free website health score survey will help you define whether you have a good website or not. So yeah,
I think it's the thing
so
too,
they
is
all
like
have
what
the
happens next? Like, yeah, you built it, but then to actually set it live and it's all sometimes that technical bits at the back end. And then the other thing some people don't think about is, yeah, what happens if it's loading slow? What do you do about it? What happens if it crashes? What happens something happens to it, gets hacked, or something like that happens?
yeah
If that was down for a day or 2 days, that might cost you a couple $1,000s or more just from lost business.
yeah
So it's that, yeah, that's great. And it might seem free and cheap up front and yep, cool.
yeah
And if you that way inclined, do it. But sometimes it's that, the ready site ones, it's that protection as well. And then you have people there willing to help and if something goes wrong and it's updated and all that sort of thing too. So
yeah. I've had a lot of clients come to me from those other platforms, right, like Wix and Squarespace. Um, and they'll come over to WordPress, and because they'll just find that they can't do certain things. There's just they'll hit a wall, they'll hit a limitation, or just like the DIY aspect of it. It's just like they just don't want to handle it anymore. So they just
hmm.
want to find somebody to take over and build it better. So yeah. But on the inverse as well, I also have, in full transparency, because that's what we want to be. We want to be
Yeah,
transparent. Is that we've had people move from WordPress sites over to Wix and Squarespace.
yeah,
We don't sort of um, completely denounce those other platforms.
no, no, it's
Um,
100%.
we because they have a place, they definitely have a place, but it's more for the DIYers, people who just want to mentally check off that they got a website, and then it's usually like they don't really do anything with their site afterwards. They just sort of, but unfortunately, that's
Yeah,
it's interesting because a lot of businesses don't know actually how much money their website is costing them,
yeah,
like in terms of lost sales and revenue.
yeah, 100%.
They just don't know. They just think, oh yeah, my site's up and it's running, and
Hmm.
but they could be losing out a lot on the back end, leaving a lot of money on the table, thinking or leaving a lot of money to go to their competitors because their competitors are doing a lot better. So
Yeah,
um, so that's what we do here at ReadySite.
yeah,
We help to streamline, help you get focused, help you to build a website that works for you, and because at the end of the day, that's the point of the site. It has to bring in more leads, has to bring in more bacon, so you
yeah,
can feed your
absolutely.
families.
It's all about the bacon.
It's all about the bacon, yeah. Well, it is. It's essentially that's it. The point is that people aren't just business savvy business owners like you who are listening are not just in business as a hobby.
Yeah,
You want to grow your business. You want to make more money so you can bring home the bacon, so you can look after your
absolutely.
family, so you can weather the storm of these crises that are going on around the world. You want, yeah, um, you want that security and that feeling of having somebody, having your back and who's in your corner, and that's what Ed and I
Yeah.
are here for. So, um,
All right, we'll go one last question to wrap it up. Who would you say the perfect Ready Site customer is? Like, paint a picture so the people listening to go, is that me? I reckon anyone that stayed this long listening to us, I think that is you are the customer, and give me a call. But, what sort of businesses have you worked with before? And I'll talk about some of the ones I have in both our separate businesses, but now we've joined at Ready Site.
Yeah, so we work with, well, personally, I've worked with, and we work with tradies, or trades, hospitality, health, beauty, pretty much anyone who works with their hands, and, not with a screen or anything like that. So just they're out there that, so, I've got dentists, on my books, we can help, beauticians, um,
Doctors, those
Reiki
ones that,
specialists,
yeah,
doctors,
it's pretty much anyone that
plumbers,
wants to,
electricians,
and we sort of think
lawyers,
about it like the ones that just
accountants.
don't want to, don't have that capacity, don't have that. It's not obviously their skill set, but also you want to spend time on the things you're good at and
Yes.
outsource
Yeah.
the bits that, you take that pressure off, and there's a big chunk of your mindset, or your um, bandwidth in your brain as well, that you can get back to focus on other areas of your business too.
Yeah. 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 Some people are really good at just doing the job, doing the task, but then they're not so good at, and you just got to be honest with yourself and say, well, I've got to outsource the things that I'm not good at. So, marketing, sales, all that stuff. I've got
Mm,
to outsource that stuff to, if you're not a salesperson, I mean, everybody in business or is an entrepreneur. We're all
mm,
salespeople. But some people say, like, oh no, I'm not a salesperson. I'm a, you know, I'm a I work with, making people look beautiful, like beauticians and stuff. And I'm like,
mm.
no, you're a salesperson. You're always selling.
Yeah,
Everyone's selling. Like, um, and so, but yeah, you might, not think that you're good at something. Like, yeah, you might say, to be honest, that you're not good at, managing your website, you know, which is true because you don't have the time for it. And
yeah,
so I guess you're a perfect customer for us because
yeah,
we
exactly.
we will help
And so
you.
if they're listening and thinking, "Yep, that's me. I need this."
Yeah.
What's the next step?
Yeah, so just go to no.
Yeah.
No, no, no.
HTTPS
Yeah.
slash slash colon www, like, gotta get the full thing in
Got to
lowercase.
end with the forward slash at
Yeah,
the end as well.
yeah,
No, just go to readyside.com.au, and just sign up. And there's a button at the very top that says, get a free discovery call, right? Book a free discovery call. And then you're going to then get taken into, you'll sign up for that. You'll talk to Ed.
that's
Right?
me.
That's Ed. Yep.
And the thing is that,
Um,
we'll go
and
through your website first impressions and the messaging, and is it mobile friendly, and looking at how your leads enter the business. So really it's that deep dive into your business as well as the website. So we can get a full picture of, well, do you actually need an upgrade to your website? Like, we
yeah,
don't want to sell you something you don't actually need, because in 6 months' time or 12 months' time, you might be at that stage of your business that you might need that. And we want to work with you then, not,
yeah,
we don't want to take your money now when it's not required, like,
yeah, yeah. And that's a free session as well. 100% free. So even if you don't work with us, which is possible,
yeah,
not everyone
but
works with
crazy.
you still get all that value. Like it's just
Yeah.
going to be amazing. So you can just take that away, and you can even then just approach another website developer with that information.
But
And
they won't be as charming as us. Or they won't have that. Like, so really, you're wasting your time.
yeah. So as Ed said, yes, that's
Yeah.
true. Yes, you know. You'll never find anyone like us. But again,
We are quite unique.
yeah. I mean, I've worked with, or I've given proposals to clients. I've had strategy sessions with clients in the past, given away a lot of free stuff, and they've decided to go and work with someone else, and that, and that's fine. We, totally get that. So there's no obligation to work with us, but you still get that valuable stuff.
Yeah. And it
But
goes back to Paul. I think we mentioned it earlier. It's what do we want to do? We want to help businesses succeed. Like, and I
yes,
think that's where I even named Tyler, business life support. It's like want businesses that are on life support to stay alive. Like, so I think our altruistic thing is we want your business to succeed. If you don't want to work with us, that's fine. But eventually down the track, you do. But yeah, I think it's us as we want to ensure that you've got the tools you need to be successful.
I could not have said that better myself at all.
Well, for those that have stuck along this far, thank you
Yeah,
for our first. This is our first one. And we've got more in the series to go about, and I think that's what we're going to do. We're just going to chat about how you can improve your website, give you tips, tricks, and then also about business. What's the latest things that could help your business succeed? And also being that, trusted source for any advice you need around your website. So yeah, jump on to readysite.com.au, and you can learn a bit more about Paul and myself. And yeah, hopefully we see you on a Zoom call talking about your website.
yeah, yeah. We're looking forward to meeting you and talking about your business and learning
Exactly.
about your business and how you're helping a lot of people as well, which is, you know, um, on a last note, business is like it's not just like I found with business. Well, I heard a podcast once, and it was like,
Is this like Paul's final thought? Like off, what was it, like Jerry Springer or
yeah, yeah,
Maury? And it's like,
it's
I'll
kind of
leave you
like
with
that.
my final thought for today.
My final thought, yeah, yeah.
Sorry, Paul's
This
final thought.
so it's like it really comes back to like that whole question of like, why are you doing what you're doing? Like what is the full altruistic purpose? Because it's like that whole man's search for meaning and I guess the reason why we're in business and the reason why you're in business is that you just want you just want to help people. You just want to serve people. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's just a transference of love, because that's what just being a service person is. It's just that, I love you. I love, another human being, and I want to be of service, and I want to give you the very best, and I want to look after you and nurture you, and I want to, you know, and that goes down to the most simplest business that sells widgets to a local trade person, or like it's still like intrinsically that embodies that just is a caring thing. And I think that's sort of built into our us as human beings, that
Mm.
we just want to look after each other. you know we just want to do the very best for other people. And I think that's just really what business boils down to. It's like,
Mm.
it's like you're not just selling that cup of coffee. You're not just, you know, unblocking somebody's drain. You're not just wiring up a smoke alarm. I mean, wiring up a smoke alarm, right, is just the embodiment of love.
Mm.
Like it is like we are installing this device because it will save your
Maybe.
life in a fire.
Yeah.
Like it's not just the product, it's the
What you're
love,
doing. Yeah.
it's the caring, it's the and of course it's regulation as well. But it's really just that really ultimate factor of like, yeah, that we are in this business to care for people, and
And
it's
I think,
and it's just
and I
love.
think that's, and 100% Paul. And I think to go off your point, I wasn't thinking I was going to
Just
for.
Ed's final thought as well.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I never thought I'd have one. I was sort of ready to wrap it up, but
Ed's final
it's
thought.
that, but it's that thing of, yeah, 100%. Like why I got into my business life support was that's a like a business owner isn't a massive corporation type of thing. Like, and that's not who we're talking to. It's a mum and dad. It's a family. It's someone that might have kids, might have older parents they're looking after. Now, if their business goes under, how do they feed their family? Where do the kids take them out of school and move them to another school? Do they have to downsize their house? Like all of these sort of things. So I think that's the, from my side, of when I was setting up business life support was I want to try and ensure businesses don't get to that stage
Mm,
or be that support for someone to enable them not to fail. Like do everything we can to help them because if their business goes under, well, and you see all every day in the newspaper every month there's how many businesses fail and everything. And I'm thinking, how many families are that? How many people then have to move out of home to downsize and move into something else and to, they had a great life and then it's just all fallen apart underneath them. So
mm,
it is that thing where that's what we care about. And how can we do that? Well, by helping a business and helping via a website. Like that's our piece of the puzzle. And if we can, stop you losing customers because you've got the most effective website possible,
mm.
well, that's our way of helping society. Because I'm not a doctor, and Paul's not an installer of smoke alarms. But like it's that sort of thing. It's sort of that's our way of helping.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. Nicely
Well,
said.
good final thoughts. Now I've got to think of a final thought for the next one. Like,
I think it's just it will come natural. It will
yeah,
just be a natural
exactly,
thing. It doesn't
exactly.
need to be scripted or anything. You just yeah. But we'll yeah, I mean at the moment like this whole AI thing is really kicking off and I think we should probably do a podcast around those types of subjects around, what's the latest
Mm.
in the AI space and
Yep.
how that is affecting businesses and it is affecting businesses definitely online.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
So I think stay tuned for our next series on our next chat about AI, and we'll do another one on small businesses and then business and some tips around that to leverage their website more effectively and other little things about website checks they can do and when do they need to update content and that sort of thing too. So we'll put a plan together. Stay tuned via our socials as well to see when the next one's coming up, and we look forward to speaking to you on the Ready chat.
we do indeed, yes. Well, Ed, thank you very much for our very first podcast. I think
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be the first of many, and whilst it hasn't been totally polished, obviously not, we don't want them to be
We're